Alright guys, so I wanted to make a quick little video on why KD makes my blood boil. And I'm not even a basketball fan like that, but watching the Phoenix Suns get swept, like, I think it was the first round. I'm a little bit late to the party, as you can probably guess, but they got swept in the first round. And this was another super team that Kevin Durant was on, or quote-unquote super team. So I'm just like, why? I'm just like flabbergasted that like this is KD's like what, third, fourth time getting swept, right? Or like this is like his third situation where like he should have gone farther than what he did. But anyways, we're gonna get into it. Please like and subscribe if you like it. If you don't, let me know what I can do better, and let's get into it. I just want to have fun and talk about things that I want to talk about. So let's get into it. All right. So the first thing of why he makes my blood boil is that he's actually a good player. You can argue that he's a top 10 to 20 of all time in basketball. And that's no small feat at all. Like, how many people have played in the NBA throughout the entirety of the history of the sport? And he is the top 20 of all of them. That's ridiculous. He's unironically a force of nature on the court. Like, this guy truly, when he has the ball in his hands, like, you can't guard him. Like, Kobe himself, the Black Mamba himself said that like KD was the hardest to guard ever. Like, that's ridiculous coming from a dude who has the mentality of I'm gonna break you and make sure you know that I'm gonna break you and then I'll break you again. Like, that's how Kobe played the game, and he still was like, yo, I couldn't find a way to guard KD. That's high praise. Rip GOAT. But my last point for this little slide is that like he's a generational icon, at least in my generation. You know, he's our generation's Larry Bird, for lack of a better, title. I'm not saying he's exactly Larry Bird. I'm just saying, like, when I think of the greats of the past, like people my parents watched, I think of Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. I think of, a whole bunch of other players. Again, I'm not a basketball person, so you can kind of fill in the gaps if you are one. But yeah, he's a generational icon. So it's like the things that he does that we'll get further into the video, it just really grinds my gears, because it's like, bro, you're an icon. You are top 20. Why the hell do you have burner accounts? And why are you trying to defend yourself on your own burner account? Like, that's crazy. Anyways, we'll get into it. Number two is that he's been second place all of his life, and it really does show. The problem isn't that he's second place, but the problem is that based on his actions, you know that he knows he's second place. It's like, out of everyone in the world, he cares the most about being in second place, which he should. I mean, you should care about you more than everyone else, but it's like, out of everyone that seems to like judge him for, I feel like he judges himself the most on being second place. Like, bro can't fail without completely abandoning ship and going to another super team. I mean, he left OKC to go to the team that beat him, and then won there for a couple years, and then when he realized he wasn't getting the respect that he thought he deserved because he wasn't from Golden State, he wasn't going to be loved like Steph or like Draymond Green or Klay Thompson. So once he realized that, and Draymond Green told him the truth, basically, he left. And where did he go? He went to Brooklyn. Why did he go to Brooklyn? So he can create his own super team there at a shot for a title. That's why James Harden and Kyrie went there. That was the whole thing. Like, as soon as Kevin Durant felt like he wasn't getting what he wanted. That's the funny part. Like, he was getting the accolades. He was getting the championships. He was getting the MVPs. But it was like when he wasn't getting the respect that he ultimately desired more than anything else, he left. And he's continuously done that. He did that at Brooklyn, and he might do that at Phoenix. So, like, he doesn't stay long enough in the places that he goes to have that rapport with the fan base and with all that stuff. People say that he never would have got the same love as Steph or Draymond, but I guarantee you, if Kevin never left Golden State and just stayed there, like to this day, he might have more rings, and he might actually have a fan base that's like, yo, we love you, because at that point he would be at Golden State for like 8 years, right? He was there at 2016 to now. That's 8 years. So like, if this dude would have just stayed in a spot and actually tried to dig deep and push through the adversity, whether it's mentality wise, whether it's whether you fit in or not, whether it's the team around you, like the actual team itself, you know, you got to work through it. And like every time he's had to work through it, he's left. He's left at OKC, he left at Golden State, he left at Brooklyn, and now he might leave at Phoenix. And that brings me to my next point. Like, KD's low-key a shitty version of Nick Fury. So I guess a shitty version of LeBron James, because LeBron James is basically the Nick Fury of the NBA universe. I mean, every team he joins, he has a cherry pick who he wants. He did that for the Lakers. He did that for the Lakers. He did it for Cavaliers. He did it for the Heat. You know, wherever he goes, he gonna have a say on where to go. And the same thing with other players who are big like that. Steph has control like that. I would say Kyrie has a little bit of influence like that. Giannis has a little bit of, you know, rapport like that. But KD has same thing, has that rapport where he can just, you know, tell people, hey, I want this guy on this team, and have that actually happen. He doesn't do a good job at that. Like he went to Brooklyn and thought that putting James Harden, which was a reunion, and putting Kyrie on the team, like simply putting good players on the team was going to be enough for a chip, and it clearly wasn't. And it's like Kevin Durant has yet to learn that lesson down in Arizona. And this dude traveled thousands of miles to learn the same damn lesson that he could have learned in Brooklyn. And that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like why do you keep chasing like the names? Like, I don't know, like you can't keep avoiding the road to like greatness. That's the way I see it. Like he's trying to like cruise into greatness, and it's like I don't think you can ever cruise into greatness. Like, yeah, you can have a good career and you can probably make it to the Hall of Fame, but it's like, dude, you compare yourself to Michael, bro. You compare yourself to LeBron. You compare yourself to Kobe. So it's like, if you want to do that, you cannot cruise into that title, bro. Like you cannot cruise into that conversation. And again, like he's low-key insecure, and that brings me to the title of the second slide. Like he's so insecure about how he's viewed. He has burner accounts with proof of him actually going out and like defending himself on Twitter and stuff. And I'm not judging him. It is what it is. But it's like you have to remember who you are, dude. You're Kevin freaking Durant. That's like when Tom Brady lost the Super Bowl against the Seahawks. That's like if Tom Brady was caught on like Instagram or Twitter like talking shit on Russell Wilson's like comment section. Like, what? Come on, bro. Like understand where you are and understand, like, I don't know. I just felt like he should have had a little bit more self-respect for himself right there. You are literally in control of your own destiny, and instead of you focusing on that, to me, in my head, you're like focused on what people think about you. Like, I feel like you should have learned that lesson in college or whenever else you've had adversity. It's just a lot of his actions show to me that either he hasn't had a lot of super duper difficult adversity, or he just never had this kind of adversity before, I guess. But I don't know. But yeah, bro, he has burner accounts for his freaking to defend himself. That's honestly a cardinal sin as a competitor. You're a competitor. You're supposed to compete. I don't think you should ever be in a situation where you're like caught trying to build yourself. I don't know. It's almost like getting caught with your pants down, bro. Honestly, it's almost like getting caught on the toilet. Like, it's just really wild. And he still has the audacity to call himself a GOAT or put himself in that conversation. There was a clip where he was talking about how he's like why not me? Why not me? And it's like, because of situations like this. Michael does not have burner accounts to defend himself. Kobe, never mind. LeBron James, that wasn't a joke. That was not in the script. But LeBron James is not on burner accounts, and he doesn't have burner accounts. You know what I'm saying? Do you think Steph has burner accounts scouring the internet to making sure that everybody's saying good things about Steph Curry? Like, no, he's not. And it's like, you can't put yourself in that conversation and be doing some shit like that, dude. Honestly, you might as well scream, I am secure what people think about me from the freaking mountaintops. And you can't be doing this and be wondering why people don't see you as him. Like, I feel like he thinks he's up there, but his problem is that he doesn't understand why other people don't think he's up there, or why the majority of people don't think he's up there. And the proof's in the pudding right there. Like, you aren't setting yourself in a way that makes you seem that way. You're setting yourself up for failure every time you defend yourself or you backtrack, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you can't be doing that, bro. You can't be doing that, KD. But yeah, man, it's like he doesn't want to lead, but he wants the respect like he does, which is no problem with that. I want to preface this slide by saying, like, it's 1,000% okay to not want to lead. It's okay you can be the GOAT, you can be a GOAT and still not lead. Like, Scottie Pippen is a GOAT, but he's not the leader. Okay, he's a GOAT relatively. Okay, guys, I know the basketball fans are screaming at me right now, but relatively, he's a GOAT, right? But it's like, Scottie Pippen wasn't a leader. But it's just like, my thing is, like, if you're gonna talk about yourself as if you are the greatest of all time, then you need to be real with yourself, and you need to, understand your legacy and how it looks on paper. You joined Golden State, and then you joined Golden State after you lost against OKC, which is already a bad move logistically. And then you win, you get your clout, you get your rings, you get your MVP, you feel good, and then you're not getting the quote unquote respect that you think you should have. And instead of you trying to build to that, you instead say, all right, screw everybody, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna go to the Nets, expecting to just win a championship, like almost like LeBron. Like, it's almost like he based his career off of like other players that did similar things. Like, LeBron did that basically. He didn't say screw y'all, Cleveland, but he left to get a championship. He got a championship, and then he came back to get a championship. But it's like Kevin Durant did the same thing, except he kept losing, and now he's like trying to backtrack even more by going to the Phoenix so that he can actually win. And it's like, bro, like, if you just would have stayed in the spots that you would have stayed at, maybe you would have won. If you would have stayed at Golden State, you would have won way more. If you would have stayed in Brooklyn, maybe, I don't know, probably not. But it's like, you leave too early for that to even be known. So it's like, to me, being a part of the GOAT conversation means that you have to be a leader on your team. Not necessarily like you have to be, I'm gonna keep it a stat. I'm sorry. You have to lead your team, and you can't shy away from that role. Nobody's saying that you have to like being a leader, but when you're put in that position where you have to put the team on your back, you have to do that. And Kevin Durant has not done that. There's been a bunch of times, like this past series, where he was needed and he couldn't get the job done, which is fine, but you can't be like, well, I'm not the GOAT. Why don't people do? You cannot do that when you don't do those things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the reason why Tom Brady is the GOAT of football is because every time this guy needed to win, he drove his team down the field as a leader and scored. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. And the times where KD has had to take the helm and bring the team to the promised land, he's not been able to do that. So it is what it is. Number 5, why he makes my blood boil real quick, is that he has everything an NBA guy could want, and he still wants more. He's a top 10 player, arguably. He has rings. He has MVPs. He's played on super teams. He's played with the best of the best. He is the best of the best. And he still, you could tell that he doesn't have a lot of satisfaction in his career. Not necessarily that he's mad, but like, by the way he moves, he definitely doesn't move like a player who's like fulfilled. And it's like really sad sometimes, because it's like, you got a Hall of Fame career, but it's like you're letting people calling you not the GOAT stopping you from enjoying your career. It's just really sad. It's like, if I had a Hall of Famer career like this, and people still didn't call me the GOAT, I wouldn't be upset, because I'm still a GOAT. Like, I wouldn't take it so personal. Maybe because I'm not that because I'm not that competitive. I don't know. Maybe I don't have it in me. But it's like, I don't know. If I was Kevin Durant, I'd be pretty damn satisfied with my career and how it ended up, regardless of like what I didn't achieve or how people view me. I mean, I'm a Hall of Famer, bro. I got rings, I got MVPs, I got final MVPs. Like, I did everything a player needs to do in the NBA. And again, he has all these accolades, and then he still gets swept and is confused as to how. Or he still gets swept and he doesn't want to take some kind of accountability. Like, dude, you need to lead your team to some extent. I understand that you don't want to be the leader, but sometimes you have to be a leader. And that means taking your team and putting it on your back sometimes and scoring. He's done that before, but it's like he doesn't do that all the time. And my last slide is a little bit of an oddball. I like to just talk about JJK. So a quick little anime comparison is Kashimo Hajime. He is a character for the JJK universe. Spoilers for the guys who haven't read the manga yet. But he's a character who was born like 400 years ago, right? And he was the Michael Jordan of that era. He was killing people left and right. He was that guy. He was him. He was so strong that everybody across Japan was like, yo, we gotta fight this guy because he's that strong. He's the benchmark. If I can beat him, then I can beat anybody type stuff. He no-diffs losers without a domain expansion. Like, bro, like this dude literally, and by the way, if you guys don't know about the domain expansions, TLDR, it's a move that is highly advantageous and pretty much decides the fight. So if you have one and your opponent doesn't have one, you pretty much can auto-win, basically. Given some circumstances, obviously, but that's another video. This guy was a GOAT, or the GOAT, without a domain expansion. So that means that he was fighting dudes possibly with domain expansions and he was still coming out on top. That's ridiculous. But he still wasn't satisfied. He left his timeline through other means. And he decides to go forward in time, and he decides to get revived so that he can be a fighter somewhere, so he can actually prove himself. And I'm trying to censor the hell out of this. So, long story short, he goes forward in time to fight somebody, and he gets fucking washed. He gets his shit kicked in, and it's like this guy was greedy as hell. If he honestly just would have been satisfied with his title as the strongest in his era, he wouldn't have gotten his shit rocked, and he wouldn't have gotten embarrassed, quite frankly, because he got embarrassed. And to flip it over to the comparison of his real life counterpart, Kevin is a GOAT of our era. You know, he shoots like Chris Kyle. This dude is a sniper from deep. And it's like, you can't be satisfied with the accolades that you have or with the respect that you have, and you're not satisfied with how you can build it or how you can move towards it. You're not thinking that way. Instead, you're more concerned about how people view you, or how you view yourself, really. And then so you leave teams, you leave good opportunities, so to chase a challenge, to chase better success in your head. And then you get that challenge, and then you're at the moment of truth, and then you get shit on. And then you rinse and repeat to another team that you join. He's done that 3 times. And that's been his career. So ultimately, guys, that's why I think Kevin Durant makes my blood boil. I can cook fucking eggs with my boiled blood because of how much this dude makes me angry sometimes, because it's like, dude, you could truly be like, you could have a much better career than you did. And it's like, I don't know why you didn't. So it is what it is, guys. It's a long ass video. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.